Oh, we are gonna sue you!
What?
Yeah!
All right. Well, just when we thought the stupidity and silliness that surrounds college football in 2024 couldn't be cranked up anymore, couldn't get any more absurd, this news breaks. Something that, as pessimistic as I can be about the state of college football and the direction that things are going, I didn't see this coming. Georgia quarterback Jaden Rashada, just transferred from Arizona State, sues Florida coach Billy Napier, among others, over botched $13.85 million NIL deal. I've watched Carolina Jackpot's video on this. I'll probably link it in the description below. And like him, I had really forgotten about this. This was kind of in the height of the advent of NIL and what it was going to be, and these really large, silly numbers being thrown out there. $13.85 million for a high school recruit is stupid. Is just flat out stupid. Having a current player sue a coach of a rival school, like what is this? Like we've gone way off the reservation now. It's like you're getting sued and we're gonna sue you. This is not sustainable. Now look, just to give a brief summary of what happened, I guess there was a booster attached to the University of Florida. He owned a car lot or some kind of automotive lot, and he was going to sell it to pay for this. But basically, we'll see in this article, he says whatever he needs, had promised him $13.85 million. Now, Jaden Rashada is alleging in his lawyer that they never intended on paying him. And this is really more what I want to talk about other than the details of this. And that's, what does this mean for college football? I don't even care about the nuance of this. This is why you've got to have contracts. If you've ever watched my channel, from what I'm seeing, like, you've just got to have contracts that protect both the player and the school. And in Jackpot's video, he kind of assumed that he would probably win the lawsuit. I don't agree with that. Because there is no contract, because there is no standard operating procedure for how any of this happens, how can you demonstrate they didn't intend on paying you, or this is out of the norm if there was nothing on paper? You're going to have to argue all that in court. Now, he's retained the services of a lawyer that's represented like Roger Clemens, Adrian Peterson. But this is not good. We've got Florida State, Clemson, and then North Carolina getting ready to file a lawsuit against the ACC. You've got now a current player suing a rival school. And by the way, and this will probably get Georgia's fans' panties in a wad. I don't care. And I'm not alleging Georgia has anything to do with this at all. I just don't know what changed between when this happened and now. It's just odd. It doesn't look great that he's at a rival school suing a rival coach. Like, it's just bizarre. I don't know what changed between, when did this happen? Like 2022 and now? I don't know. Let's read a little bit about it, though. Obviously, Florida could not be reached for comment. The complaint filed in Pensacola Division of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Florida details a number of counts alleging Napier, Hathcock, and others fraudulently induced Rashada, then a highly regarded high school quarterback. Now, this Hathcock is the Florida booster, to attend Florida with no intention of following through on their financial promises. And I'm just telling you, I'm not some kind of legal expert. I just think you're going to have a hell of a time demonstrating that. Everyone just kind of, that I'm listening to or that I've heard talk about it, seems to think, yeah, this is clearly the case. Proving that in court and demonstrating that is worlds apart from saying it's just evidently so. Specifically, the lawsuit claims fraudulent misrepresentation, and inducement, aiding and abetting fraud, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, negligent misrepresentation, tortious interference. Now we're in tort law, with a business relationship or contact, and aiding and abetting tortious interference. Now, I have no idea what tortious interference is. I have some understanding of like that type of law, but whatever. Hathcock on behalf of himself and Velocity Automotive, evidently this is the car lot he owned, Castro Walker, and Coach Napier orchestrated and executed a fraud upon Jaden and were substantially and knowingly assisted by one another in carrying out the fraud. Now, I will say this doesn't look good for Billy Napier. Billy Napier's seat is already hot. I would say he's on the hot seat this year. Is Florida now what Tennessee used to be, where they're just clawing back to get to the years when Urban Meyer was there, the success of yesteryear? I don't know. But this could you use this if you're Florida to fire Billy Napier for cause? I don't know. I mean, then does Billy Napier sue Florida? I mean, this litigation has gotten way out of hand. Anyway, attempts to reach Florida were not immediately returned. Well, sure they weren't. So Rashada has enlisted well-known Houston area attorney Rusty Hardin, who has previously represented a bevy of notable athletes, including Roger Clemens and Adrian Peterson, to try the case. Hardin has also been involved in potential litigation against Napier. Am I reading that right? Hardin has been involved in potential litigation against Napier and others since January 2023, when Rashada's agents Jackson Zager and Thompson first reached out inquiring about legal options after Florida boosters allegedly reneged on multiple $1 million. Okay, so I take back what I said about Georgia. I guess he's been looking for options to do this for some time. So I guess it's not as suspicious him being at Georgia and now suing a rival school. At the crux of the argument are the actions of Napier, Hathcock, and his company, Velocity Automotive. Okay, whatever. Yeah, he evidently was offered a $500,000 signing bonus. I'll say this. You got to have contracts in college football now that protect both the player and the school. And that way things like this don't happen again. Because if he sues Billy Napier and all these people and wins, what stops an athlete every time a deal doesn't go the way he wants suing the school? And whether he has a case or not is not really relevant. You're going to have schools that are tied up in litigation with previous recruits, current, it's not manageable. College football is an absolute mess right now. And it's going to have to go to an NFL model. I hate it. It's not going to be just like the NFL, but you've got to have some kind of centralized governing body to regulate this stuff that isn't the U.S. government. Believe me, you don't want the U.S. government managing college football. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not discriminating federally protected things, this is how the NFL works. If you want to be a part of that league, there's certain rules you have to abide by that you all agree on. If you don't want to abide by those rules, then you can go start your own league. People have tried it, the XFL, all this, whatever. You can do that with the NCAA. You can install a new governing body instead of, team owners. You have different representatives of the conference, different representatives of the schools. You all agree on rules for NIL, portal, tampering, however you want to do it. And I'm sure in the NFL, there's an arbitration clause where you can't just sue the NFL. You have to go through arbitration first. There's no reason that the NCAA can't do it, and the NCAA has to start moving toward that. Or every school and every conference is going to be engaged in litigation for the end of time. And that's just silly. Like, we now have the inmates running the asylum. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I kind of feel like there'll probably be a settlement. But I do not think it's a foregone conclusion that he just wins because it appears that he was led on. Again, they're going to have to demonstrate that. But civil litigation is different. It's to the preponderance of the evidence, which means you just have to be 51% sure. So who knows? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Where is college football going? What do we need to do? Let me know. Talk to you guys soon.